As our journey through the terminal begins, we find Viktor Navorski excitedly disembarking from his plane at JFK Airport in New York City. With wide eyes, he takes in the sights and sounds of the busy airport, eager to experience the bustling metropolis and fulfill his late father's dream of visiting the city. Viktor's first interaction with airport officials seems routine at first.
Sir?
He presents his passport and necessary documents, only to be met with confusion and concern by the customs officer. The officer, realizing the gravity of the situation, calls over his superior, Frank Dixon, the head of Customs and Border Protection. Dixon explains to Viktor that a coup has erupted in Krakosia, and the United States no longer recognizes the government that issued his passport.
So the potato chips are Krakosia?
No.
No more Krakosia.
As Viktor grapples with this devastating news, Dixon lays out his options. He can't enter the United States, as his passport is no longer valid. He can't return to Krakosia, as flights have been suspended due to the ongoing conflict. Dixon suggests that Viktor stay in the airport's International Transit Lounge until the political situation is resolved.
I'm sure that Uncle Sam will have this all sorted out by tomorrow and welcomes the United States.
As the weeks and months pass, Viktor's limbo at the airport becomes a symbol of the larger political stalemate between the two nations. He is caught in the crossfire of political machinations, a pawn in a game of power and diplomacy. Frank Dixon and the airport authorities persistently deny Viktor entry into the U.S., while Viktor, motivated by his values and his father's aspirations, remains determined and awaits a resolution within the terminal. Throughout the movie, we see various attempts by both Viktor and the airport authorities to navigate and negotiate the political impasse. Dixon, eager to enforce the rules and maintain order in his domain, employs various tactics to try to force Viktor to leave the terminal, all of which are met with Viktor's unwavering determination to stay.
I wait.
As their conflict escalates, it becomes clear that it is not just about the politics of Krakosia or the rules of the airport. It is a struggle between two men, each with their own convictions and motivations. Despite the uncertainty and isolation of his situation, Viktor remains optimistic and refuses to give up. He quickly realizes that in order to survive, he must make the terminal his home. Using his construction skills, he builds a makeshift living space, complete with a bed, storage, and a small kitchen area. He finds ways to earn money by returning luggage carts, collecting change left in payphones, and working construction jobs under the table. Throughout his time in the terminal, Viktor also learns to navigate the airport's facilities, such as the public restrooms, the food court, and the shops. He devises creative ways to stretch his limited resources, such as surviving on ketchup and crackers, and using airport vouchers to buy food. One of the first friendships that Viktor forms is with Gupta, a janitor from India who works at the airport. Despite their cultural differences and language barriers, they find common ground in their shared experiences as immigrants and outsiders. Another important friendship that Viktor forms is with Enrique, a food service worker from Cuba who dreams of a better life for himself and his fiancée.
I'm Enrique Cruz.
Viktor and Enrique quickly become allies, helping each other navigate the challenges of their daily lives in the terminal. Amidst the friendships and camaraderie that Viktor finds in the terminal, he also experiences love when he meets Amelia Warren, a flight attendant who becomes a regular presence in his life. As their connection deepens, the host describes the evolving nature of their relationship, from casual acquaintances to confidants, and ultimately to romantic partners. Viktor's romantic interest in Amelia adds another layer of complexity to his situation, as it raises questions about his future and the life he hopes to build outside the terminal. The host discusses the challenges that their relationship faces, such as Amelia's existing romantic entanglements and Viktor's uncertain future in the United States. Despite these obstacles, the love story between Viktor and Amelia serves as a powerful reminder of the transformative potential of love, even in the most trying of circumstances.
Victor!
As the airport's chief authority figure, Frank Dixon is responsible for maintaining order and enforcing the rules within his domain. When Viktor arrives at JFK Airport with an invalid passport, Dixon sees it as his duty to ensure that Viktor neither enters the United States nor remains in the airport indefinitely.
You will not set one foot in New York City.
However, Viktor's unwavering determination to fulfill his father's dream and his refusal to compromise on his principles puts him at odds with Dixon. As Viktor's stay in the terminal extends from days to weeks and eventually months, their conflict escalates into a high-stakes battle of wits and willpower. Dixon employs various tactics to try to force Viktor out of the terminal or to coerce him into giving up his quest.
Do you think this is a game? Huh?
Despite Dixon's efforts, Viktor remains steadfast in his determination to wait in the terminal until his passport is valid once more. As their conflict deepens, the personal motivations and convictions of both Viktor and Dixon are put to the test. For Viktor, his struggle with Dixon is not just about gaining entry to the United States, but also about honoring his father's memory and remaining true to his principles. For Dixon, the conflict with Viktor becomes a reflection of his own insecurities and shortcomings as a leader. As he watches Viktor garner the support and admiration of the airport staff and travelers, Dixon's frustration grows, pushing him to take increasingly desperate measures to assert his authority. The man is carrying medication for his sick father, but he is arrested and the drugs are confiscated. Viktor remembers that one of the forms he thoroughly studied says that medication can be carried without papers if it is intended for an animal. He says that he translated incorrectly, and the man was carrying drugs for his goat, not his father. Frank has to release the passenger with the tablets.
Goat. The medicine is for goat.
He vents his anger on Navorski, and the security officers see it. Frank is left in his position, and his promotion is postponed indefinitely. In retaliation, he promises not to let Navorski out of the terminal as long as he can. But the support of his friends in the terminal and the enduring love of Amelia Warren, Viktor manages to overcome the numerous obstacles that Frank, Dixon, and the airport authorities place in his path. As Viktor's story gains attention both within the airport and beyond, the pressure on Dixon to resolve the situation mounts. Eventually, he is confronted with the reality that his actions are not only unjust but also detrimental to his own career and reputation. When parting, Viktor asked Amelie if she knew that Napoleon gave Josephine a gift after conquering Bavaria. Amelie didn't know, so Viktor promised to show her when they meet again at the terminal in 13 days. Therefore, on the first evening, Viktor began to make a gift for Amelie. Meanwhile, Enrique dared to make a proposal through Viktor, and they married and celebrated the wedding at the terminal. When Amelie returned, Frank, the head of security, told her the truth about Viktor. Amelie, in a distressed state, finds Viktor and tells him everything that has been bottled up inside her. She tells him that she broke up with her married lover. Viktor, in turn, shows her his gift, a fountain made from beaten dishes. Amelie asks him to tell her the truth about himself and his trip. And Viktor tells her that his father was a big jazz fan who collected almost all the autographs of iconic American musicians. He was missing one, and when Viktor gets the last autograph, he must put it with the rest in a peanut butter jar.
One by one.
Amelie realizes that Viktor is the only man who isn't deceiving her. Meanwhile, Viktor's unwavering determination to fulfill his father's dream ultimately pays off when he receives news that the political situation in Cracovia has been resolved, and his passport is once again valid. Navorski is happy, but then Amelie appears, and she returned to her married man. He got a one-day visa for Viktor to visit New York. The emotional resolution of Viktor's story extends beyond his personal triumph, as the lives of those around him are also transformed by his journey. Viktor is upset that he lost his beloved woman, but he still has a goal to get the autograph. He goes with his visa and dollar bill, and she tells him that Navorski must get permission from Frank. At that time, Frank is preparing to move to a new position, and he has been promoted after all. He returns Viktor's passport and ticket and asks security to escort him to the plane flying to Cracovia, but Viktor refuses. He wants to visit New York. As Viktor finally steps outside the airport and into the streets of New York City, he embarks on the next chapter of his life, armed with the knowledge and experiences he gained during his time in the terminal. Viktor went to a jazz club and got an autograph from Benny Golson, adding it to his collection of autographs. If you liked this video and would like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to Tom Talks and hitting that notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. Your support helps us continue to create high-quality content that entertains and inspires. Until next time, stay resilient and never lose sight of your dreams.